Do you want to be sad and angry and frustrated and bitter and be envious for the rest of your life and feel stuck and stagnant? Or do you want to become successful? These are the harsh truths that you need to know when it comes to your healing journey and elevating. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video for the month of April. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, then that means it is not in a line, so do not force it. As well as grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. Like we started off in the introduction of today's video, we're going to go over and discuss what happens when you don't feel like doing the things that you need to do in order for you to become successful. Like, what are the consequences, as well as some recommendations, some reminders, and some disclaimers, and just certain things that you should be aware of. So I basically said the first disclaimer: if you do not make a decision in order for you to elevate and become the best version of yourself, you are going to be angry, you're going to be bitter, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be envious, and the time is going to go by and you're only going to grow older. Womp, womp, womp. These are the harsh truths, which means we're not here to sugarcoat anything or make excuses. So if you like accountability and you don't like honesty, send and share this video to somebody who does, because over here, that's what we do as your favorite mental health specialist who motivates, informs, and educates, and who's also your favorite rich auntie and a naturopathic physician. But anyways, enough about me, back to you. The second disclaimer is knowing that when you do not do the things that you need to do in order for you to get better, you're going to feel paralyzed. You're going to suffer from PTSD. You're going to be more likely to be angry and frustrated and irritated. And the more irritated that you are, the more frustrated that you are, the more that you're suffering and struggling from memories and people and places and things that you need to outgrow or that you haven't outgrown, the more psychologically you're going to think there's something wrong with you, and the more and more you're going to feel irregulated, the more likely you are to have anxiety and become depressed. And with anxiety and depressions, physically have things manifest in your body, such as like panic attacks, such as becoming suicidal. That's where it stems from. Your nervous system not being regulated because you have so much fear, which is PTSD, you being paralyzed, that you don't even start, that you don't even try, and that you don't even show up for yourself. So the third disclaimer is knowing that even though you may be afraid, even though you may not have all the tools, even though you may not have all the resources, even though you went through the things that you went through in your past, that if you want to, there's still a possibility. The only way there's going to be a possibility is that you decide to. So the fourth disclaimer is making a decision. And let me know in the comment section down below. Do you want to stay where you are and continue to do the same things that you've been doing over and over and over again? Or do you want to try and be the person that you're meant to be? So lastly, before we get into the recommendations on what you need to work on when it comes to you not wanting to do things all the time, is knowing that it is common for you to not always feel as enthusiastic or as excited when you have gone through a significant amount of trauma. Nobody's here to invalidate your experience, but as somebody like yourself who has gone through enough trials and tribulations, what has helped me along my healing journey was to realize that I don't want to continue to suffer. Despite all the trials and tribulations that I've had to experience up until this point, if I'm able to have breath in my body, despite me may not having all the things that I feel like I should have, I do not want to stay still, because I have witnessed from other people, places, and things, not comparing but just observation, that I don't want those things for myself, because that's what happens. Like, the same people who judge you for certain situations that they've never could overcome end up in the same situations, and I don't want that for myself. I never wanted that for anybody, including yourself, even the people and places and things who, you know, were trying to send attacks and evil eye or be vicious or not help you or whatever it was. But just in general, like, nobody wants to struggle. People struggle because they don't realize that they're struggling, or they're used to being struggling, or because you have people who just don't know any better. Once you decide to watch these videos, once you decide to subscribe, once you turn on your post notifications, you're liking and engaging, you have to make a choice, because that's what life is about, and that's the only way we get out of these situations. A lot of times we experience trials and tribulations at the expense of other people. Like, if it's not us making decisions, we experience what we've been taught and shown. And a lot of times trauma and the trials and tribulations is going to be conditioned based off of how you were raised. So what you saw in your household, what you didn't see, what you witnessed at school, what you witnessed at work, what you witnessed through people in your life, your community. Whether you played sports, you were into drama acting, you were the only child, or you grew up in a dysfunctional, toxic, or even a privileged lifestyle. Like, we pick up things from other people as well as ourselves. So the first recommendation is just learning to hold yourself accountable. You have to know what your weaknesses are. You have to know what your strengths are. So on your notes in the comment section, I need you to draw like a line. If you don't have paper that has a line, and I want you to draw like another line in the middle, I want you to draw a T. Okay, draw a T if you don't already have naturally lines, and on one side I need you to put strengths, and on the other side I need you to put weaknesses, or you put weaknesses, strengths, however you want to. I need you to label the things that you're good at, you know, that you're confident at when it comes to your goals and your success and whatever it is that you want. And then I need you to list the things that you know you need to work on. The things that you know you're good at, you need to continue to focus on, you need to continue to nourish, you need to continue to enhance. And the things that your weaknesses are, and in real time, you need to be able to start coming up with solutions. And that's going to be the part of the second recommendation. The reason why you need to know what you're good at and what you're not is because there is a reason on why you feel like you becoming the best version of yourself is taking too much. Like, there's some type of limitation, rather, like I said, subconsciously, emotionally, physically, or financially, that's blocking you from showing up for yourself. A lot of times it's from trauma. Like I said, maybe you were raised a certain type of way. Maybe you grew up and you had people who did not pour into you, who didn't speak life into you. So subconsciously you have naturally grown to shrink yourself. You've been naturally the type of person to, sorry you guys, I got a notification. You have been somebody who's closed off, or maybe you're afraid to be seen. Like, there is a solution for a lot of our problems, but you have to be able to identify what your issues are, or your fears or your doubts, in order for you to come up with a solution. And that's the second recommendation. Once you understand your weaknesses, once you understand what it is that you want, you have to ask yourself, well, what can I do to work towards this? So, for example, if you're somebody who feels lazy, quote unquote, there's a reason why you're lazy. Maybe you didn't have the resources or the parents or the tools, excuse me, I meant to say parents and tools, that invested into you. So you've been naturally somebody that procrastinates. Maybe you didn't grow up with a certain financial background, so maybe you had to work 2 jobs or 3 times harder than the average person or people around you. You guys, that's confirmation. There's water in the background. Like, there's a reason on why we're blocking ourselves. Rather, like I said, it's emotionally, physically, consciously, psychologically, however lead. You have to be able to identify what your weaknesses are, so therefore you can come up with solutions and understand why you feel like you're not motivated. So the third thing that you have to do is create affirmations. Affirmations are only going to work when you are applying yourself, you're putting in the work, and you're taking your time. On the same sheet of paper, at the bottom of the paper and in your comment section in the notes, I need you to create 3 affirmations that can help you reassure yourself. So therefore, when you are struggling, or when you are tired, or when you do feel overwhelmed, you can still show up for yourself. And for the next couple of videos, that's where we're going to be talking about, like, it's okay to be tired, but you cannot give up on yourself. Like, I have a certain standard for myself because I know that I'm capable of doing that. That's one of my strengths. So whenever I feel like, okay, I don't feel like doing something, me personally, I like to push through, because I know, like, I never want to get too comfortable. But on the days where I don't feel like doing things, I have to remind myself, like, this is not where I want to be. Like, that could be your affirmation, just something to remind you, like, this is not where I want to be in my life. I have not accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish for myself. So therefore, despite what I'm feeling right now, despite my mood, I'm still going to show up for myself, because it's not right now sometimes that you're able to appreciate where you are. It's after you accomplish your trials and tribulations. It's not until you make it, or quote unquote get to the other side. But in order for you to make it, in order for you to cross that finish line, in order for you to elevate and heal and become the best version of yourself, you have to go through it. So the fourth recommendation is knowing that this is a journey, this is a process. It's not a one size fit all. Healing could take years, months, seconds, hours, days, or for most people, their entire life. You're constantly going to have ego deaths. You're constantly going through identity crisis and identity shifts. You're constantly going to outgrow people and places and things, ideologies, beliefs, mindsets, values, perspective, because there's no limitation when it comes to abundance. When you guys are watching these videos and you guys are engaging and you're subscribing, there is no one size fit all. Over here, abundance is as big as the earth, as the sky, as the ocean. Do not limit yourself based off of where you are or where you went through. Like, you can't see who you're meant to be a lot of times too, because you have to change. You have to change. Like, if you knew, and this is why I tell you guys to watch all the other videos so you could be caught up and be aware. Like, if you knew how much change you had to do in order for you to be the person you want to be, despite of you feeling like it or not, you would still show up for yourself. Like, and I just made a video talking about that. Your faith, your goals have to be stronger than all the doubt and then the fear. So when you don't want to do something, just ask yourself, is this where I want to be? Am I happy with myself? If the answer is no, you have to pace yourself. You have to take your time. You don't have to rush. You don't have to compare yourself. But most importantly, as you are showing up for yourself, you have to be okay with locking in. You have to be okay with prioritizing yourself. Like I said, this is an accountability account. This is an honesty account. So like I said, if you don't like those two things, send it and share it to somebody who does, because nobody has time. Time is not going to wait for you just because you're having a bad day. Because if you haven't noticed, from 2020 to 2026, pew, it's been going by. And it's only going to continue. You're not here to live forever. So what you do with your time, it is on you. But as your favorite mental health specialist on this account, you can't say nobody didn't help you. So if you don't have the resources, you don't have the tools, you have this. These are free videos that you can watch, okay? As well as follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below, as well as follow me on my Instagram and on TikTok. That's where I go live to answer your guys' questions in real time. And if you're interested in a service in a session and you want it to be more intimate, more relaxed, and more vulnerable, drop the word website, even though I have my website in the description, to book your service in your session, okay? And make sure you guys are liking and engaging, because that's all I ask. It's free. Support is free. I pour into you, you pour into me by liking this video and engaging and sending and sharing to somebody who needs to watch it, because at the end of the day is gonna end, okay? You're not alone. I love you. Thanks for watching. Until next time, peace.